Well, welcome back, everyone. All day we've been telling you about the impact of Hurricane Irene in the Lehigh Valley and its surrounding areas.
Correspondent Carter Evan now takes a closer look at what Irene did to New York City.
Many New Yorkers are now asking, is that all? But Irene, now a tropical storm, flooded low-lying areas, leaving millions without power, and it's blamed for several deaths along the East Coast. Irene weakened from a hurricane to a tropical storm over New York, and many in Manhattan left their homes as soon as the rain stopped falling. But officials warn all East Coast residents that Irene's impact will be felt for some time and to please stay home.
Our number one message for individuals and families up and down the eastern seaboard this morning is that we're not out of the woods yet. No matter where you are this morning, from North Carolina to Maine, we encourage you to stay off the roads as much as possible.
One government estimate says wind damage alone is expected to top $1 billion. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie says his state was particularly hard hit.
We have over 500,000 people who have lost power. We have over 250 road closures. We have 15,000 people in emergency shelters in 45 different shelters, and that number is growing.
The streets of New York are slowly getting back to normal. People are venturing out now to see what Irene has done, and it's going to take a while to determine all of the damage. There are a lot of trees down, and the ground is saturated, so a lot more will fall. Then there's the issue of what's left underground. A lot of flooding down in lower Manhattan. That could do some serious damage, and it could be a while before all the assessments are in. From New York, I'm Carter Evans. Now back to you.
All right, Carter, thank you. Well, the Delaware River is always a concern when our area gets a soaking.
WFMZ's Jaccii Farris is live in Easton to tell us about the conditions there. Jaccii.
Well, I can tell you guys the wind has really kicked up. We've been watching some of the smaller trees. They've just been kind of bowing like that. But because we wanted to be next to the water, we really couldn't be up there and show you the water at the same time. But take a look at the top of some of these trees. They're just swaying wildly, and you can see the flag is really just going crazy. That seems to be what's happening now. We're seeing a lot of wind come through now, as 69 News meteorologists have been telling us all morning and yesterday. Right now, the Delaware, we're taking a look at the Delaware right now. It's filling up really fast. All the rain is collecting. We're starting to see some of that water come in from New York. And it's expected to, last time I talked to Mayor Sal Panto, to crest around 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. But in my conversations with him, he was saying that he thought that it may come sooner than that. He was saying that he may actually have to close down Larry Holmes Drive earlier than anticipated. The original plan was to do it mid-morning, but that it may have to come sooner than that. There's going to be an emergency management meeting tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock to kind of assess what the situation is, because tomorrow there was a lot of wind, there was a lot of rain, but tomorrow will be the test for Easton and its preparedness. Everyone will be on call overnight. Mayor Panto doesn't think there's going to be any problems overnight, but tomorrow morning is when the floodwaters will come. Right now we've got a lot of trees down. We're taking a look at 611. Traffic is moving smoothly on one side, but earlier today there were a lot of downed trees on the southern portion. And if you go ahead and take a look at, I don't know if we can see from this angle, but the 3rd Street Bridge, it seems like every time we come out for a live hit, the water gets higher and higher. And that is a very big concern for a lot of the people who live in the area. There have been a lot of reverse 911 calls to residents. The flats around Lehigh Drive have been evacuated. Basically, anybody who is in a low-lying area, is in the Easton area, is being asked to pack up their belongings and take off. And while a lot of people are coming out here to check out the what the Delaware and what the Lehigh looks like at this point, tomorrow it's not going to be so cool to be out checking things out, because there are going to be a lot of barricades. And the one thing, if I can get one thing besides clearing out in the low-lying areas, if you live in them, one thing across, that is, do not go around these barricades. There's going to be so much flood water out here that you don't know what's under that water. This area is known for sinkholes and You know, it only takes water up to your hubcap in order for your car to be swept away. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's absolutely true. So tomorrow is a big test for Easton, and hopefully everyone will stay away from the barricades and stay off the road so emergency preparedness crews can do their job. In Easton, Jaccii Farris, 69 News.
All right, Jaccii, thanks so much. And let's take a look at conditions now in Berks County. That's where we find WFMZ's Melissa Fullerton, who is joining us live now from Redding. Melissa, how is it going over there?
Well, you know, Eve, I'm listening to Jaccii talking up there about the Delaware River in Easton, and I have to say we're very lucky down here in Redding. There have been many times that we have been in that same situation, waiting for the water levels to rise in the Schuylkill, and it seems like this time we kind of dodged that bullet, and we're not really all that concerned. Officials are telling us they are not that concerned about the Schuylkill River, and we're hearing that it's going to crest below flood stages. So that is definitely good news for folks down here in Berks County. In fact, I ran into a very lovely woman in the grocery store yesterday who summed it up very beautifully and said, you know, we prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And I think that's what happened down here in Berks County. Not to minimize the situation, we do have crews out very busy working on power lines. We still have, you know, more than 30,000 people throughout the county without power. And we also have some trees down and trees, you know, that just missed houses or trees onto houses, but we're hearing, you know, none, all of that severe. So still, you know, keeping an eye on the winds, and we've had a little bit of rain move through here, but for the most part, I'd say we're fairly lucky here in Berks County. I do want to show you the situation earlier today in Birdsboro. The little old Hay Creek was rushing like a river from Hurricane Irene. They had a lot of water going through the borough of Birdsboro, and most of what happened there was what is expected to happen there when we get a lot of water. The Hay Creek often goes over its banks, and they do have some flood-prone areas there in Birdsboro that they're used to dealing with things underwater. We did encounter a man who had a tree fall near his backyard, and that came over the Hay Creek and then created kind of a damming effect that forced a little more water into his backyard, but fortunately nothing too serious that he couldn't handle. I did mention the power outages. It seems like the situation is getting a little better, at least according to our last check of the outages here in Berks County. They had gotten about 1,000 people online, but we still have 35,000 plus out without power tonight. So I know a lot of people were scrambling throughout the day today. We were mentioning ice. We saw some people getting ice, trying to save whatever was in their refrigerator or freezer. We talked to some folks at Wawa in Muhlenberg Township. They said ice is a big seller today, so people definitely out there getting that. D-batteries for flashlights. I know I couldn't find them anywhere. When I was shopping yesterday around Exeter Township, Lowe's was out, Target was out. So a lot of people had prepared for this, and hopefully the people that bought all those D-batteries are the people without power and using those flashlights tonight, because it sounds like it's going to be a while before they get that power up and running. We know Kutztown University has been without power since 8:30 this morning. University officials tell us they have stepped up patrols around campus. They're having their campus police go through some of the buildings and make extra patrols. They're also trying to get some entertainment for students. All but 500 students are back on campus awaiting the start of the semester this week, so they're trying to keep them occupied. But for the most part, things are manageable here in Berks County. We haven't heard of anything too serious or that people cannot handle, so it's just a matter of being patient. And if you're waiting for your power to come back on, getting that power back on. And if you have neighbors or if you know of people without power, it's a good time to go check on them and see if there's anything you can do to help out. That is the update from here in Redding. We're going to send it back to you guys, and we'll check in a little while.
All right, Melissa, sounds good. Thanks so
Melissa.
much. And as Melissa mentioned, a storm like this one kind of forces us to do a little inventory since we knew it was coming. Check, make sure you have those batteries and flashlights. I realized I just had like a little flashlight, had to grab one yesterday. And my friend said, he wrote on his Facebook, my friend Chris Kletzing, future purchases, battery sump pump, generator, and a donut. The donut will help, Chris. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, we had some munchkins this morning. And we should mention the power on South Mountain here where we work is out from everywhere. And the only reason you're able to see us is because our backup generator is in effect, is working right now to keep us on the air, which is doing a good job.
Yeah, grateful for that backup generator.
Yeah, it's pretty loud out there. You can hear it right when you step out.
I noticed when the street light was out coming up the mountain, I thought, oh boy, thank goodness for that backup generator. I'm sure it's working hard.
And what is the road going to look like? That's always the other question. All right, let's get to temps first, and then we'll show you those winds, because obviously those continue to be really kind of the big issue. Now, obviously, those of you living along the Delaware in particular, a little bit as far as the Schuylkill and Lehigh, but really those have not been the bigger issue. It's going to be the Delaware that is a problem, and we'll show you some updated numbers here that have just been coming in. But temperatures you can see in the low 70s. There are some upper 60s farther to the north. Again, the wind, these are sustained winds. And we'll have some winds, new numbers coming in here in just a couple of minutes. You can see really between 20 and 30. That's basically where they've been as far as the sustained winds go. But here are some of the gusts, and they've peaked 45 to 55 generally. That was especially a little bit earlier, but right now we're seeing gusts in the 20s and 30s, except for Philly, where the gust is currently at 46. Rainfall totals so far, and we've added just a little bit to this with a little bit of rain coming through, but Lehigh Valley 5 inches, Reading 3 inches, Mount Pocono 5, and Philly coming in with 5.7. Gloucester County in Jersey up to 11 inches of rain, and parts of the North Carolina saw between 16 and 19 inches. Well, look at this. You can see that clearing line practically to Harrisburg, and it is pretty darn sunny back here behind this tropical storm. So this is going to continue to kind of ride up toward the north and the east. Just a little bit more rain to get through. Matter of fact, our select warn system shows it really well. Pretty good batch coming through Berks County and now into parts of Lehigh County. So it looks like Lehigh into Northampton, Bucksmont, you're seeing just a little bit of that rain. But here is the back edge, which is now through Harrisburg and actually just to the western part of Schuylkill and into Lebanon counties here, and this will continue to kind of filter up toward the north and the east. So this is the last gasp as far as the rain. You can see back toward the west, there's just really nothing going on. So as soon as that comes through, the threat for rain will come to an end. But the winds is what will be a problem. All right, new numbers in Easton up to 19.22, and now Regalsville up to 19.13. So not too far away, less than 3 feet from the current flood stage. And starting toward the end of the day, we're going to begin to see some minor flooding along the Delaware, especially at Easton and Regalsville. There will be some flooding at Trenton as well. But you can see with these forecasted flood crests, that is well above the flood stage at Easton and Regalsville. So minor flooding starts later today. The crests are expected tomorrow, but the river doesn't come back below flood stage until Tuesday, probably in the afternoon or Tuesday night. So it is going to be a while that we see flooding along the Delaware. Lehigh, we're in good shape. Lehighton and Walnutport, we don't expect flooding. Bethlehem, maybe some minor flooding, and that would start off tonight. So again, good news there as far as the rivers. Schuylkill also, we're in pretty good shape, except for Philly, where some minor flooding is occurring. So let's play it like this, and eventually here within the next hour or so, we'll just change this to the tonight and tomorrow forecast. But 76 for the rest of the day. A little bit of that lingering rain. I would think by 5 or 6 that rain is gone, and it's not a whole lot more rain, but the wind is just still an issue, and that will not subside until later on tonight. So we are going to see wind gusts upwards of 30 to 50 right through the evening hours before it relaxes overnight, and obviously the rivers continue to rise. For tonight, winds gradually subside again, probably after midnight, clearing skies and 54. So we just have the threat for more trees to come down, which may lead to more outages. Great stretch of weather here starting tomorrow. Cleanup efforts all over the place, and it's not going to take a day. It's going to take several days, and the weather will cooperate. More in a few minutes, even Jaciel. Back over to you.
All right, Matt, thanks so much. And we're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back with more coverage on Hurricane Irene right after these messages. Well, we want to thank you all for staying with us through our special coverage of Hurricane Irene. If you'd like to talk to us about what you see going on, or if you have a question about the storm, we want to remind you we're holding a live chat right now over online at WFMZ.com. It will keep going through 6:30 this evening. Just click on our special hurricane section at the top of the homepage and you can join in.
You can also connect with us via Facebook, WFMZ pages, as well as Eve Tannery and I have pages that you can just like and leave your comments there and leave your pictures as well. Be sure to log on to WFMZ.com for the latest updates on the storm. You can find the latest forecast, traffic conditions, along with storm center closings and delays. You can also upload your photos and videos and take part in our live chat that's going on through 6:30, all at WFMZ.com.
We have a list of emergency phone numbers for power outages on our website as well. You may want to copy down these numbers so you have them in the event you need to report a power outage. You can call PPL at 1-800-342-5775. Press option number 1. And MedEd can be reached at 1-888-LIGHTS. Again, that's 1-888-544-4877.
And Matt's here now with a look at the forecast.
Yeah, after we're done here, just want to remind people over on the AccuWeather channel, constant river level updates and the latest as this storm pulls away.
Yeah, I just saw, not to interrupt you, Matt, but
Yeah.
on Jackie's Facebook page, she just wrote that they're blocking off the observation deck where all those people were standing behind her all morning long over at Riverside Park.
You know things are getting close when that
Yeah.
happens. Yeah, we're less than 3 feet from flood stage now at the Delaware, along the Delaware at Easton Peaburg. So it's going to be happening here over the next few hours. I would think toward the end of the day, we're going to begin to see some flooding in that particular area. Also, Regalsville. Again, it's not everywhere along the Delaware, and really the Delaware is the one we're most concerned about because the Schuylkill and the Lehigh, not nearly anything like the Delaware will have to deal with. So we'll show you those numbers here in a second. Temperature-wise, and we've seen some brightening or a break or two in the clouds. We're still also seeing a little bit of rain lingering, but that should be gone by 5, maybe 6 latest. But there's not that much more rain out there. Temperatures in the lower and middle 70s. Wind speeds are still key here. 22 sustained in the Lehigh Valley, 20 in Stroudsburg, 30 in Philly, 18 in Reading, 19 in Pottsville, but still some of the gusts between 25 and 40 miles an hour. That continues to be the case here. You can see 33 the gust in Reading, now back up to 40 in the Lehigh Valley. So the threat, at least for gusts between 30 and 50, will continue, I would think, until late evening or even midnight. And then eventually those winds will slacken off during the overnight period. The peak wind gusts so far, 48 in the Lehigh Valley and Reading, 52 for Philly and Trenton with this particular hurricane and now a tropical storm. Still at 60 miles an hour, by the way, as it continues now up in New York State. Here is the clearing line, number 1, and here's the back edge of that rainfall. And the rain really light to just a couple of moderate pockets, but this is not a big issue as far as additional rain falling. The damage has already been done. As you know, we've seen about 5 inches in the Lehigh Valley, about 3 inches in Reading, and 5.5+ inches at Philly and Trenton, Mount Pocono with 5 inches as well. Good look at our SelectWarn system. You can see some pretty decent bands up here toward the Poconos, but this activity is starting to diminish just a little bit. However, the wind will continue to be a problem right through the evening hours, so just know that. All right, quickly here along the Delaware, 19.22 feet. That's not a problem in Belvedere, but Easton and Regalsville will start to flood, minor flooding, toward the end of the day, and then those levels will continue to rise by the time we hit tonight, later on, and certainly tomorrow, where the crest is expected. We're going to be about 6 to 8 feet above flood stage in those locations. Matter of fact, Easton will probably go over by about 9 feet. That is considered major flooding, so we are concerned for Easton and for Regalsville in particular along the Delaware. 76, rain coming to an end, very windy right through the rest of the day and really through the evening hours before those winds slacken off later tonight, clearing at 54. Great weather for cleanup, and that is at least one piece of good news. Jaciel and Eve, back over to you.
All right, thanks, Matt. Now let's get a last check of the roads.
And for that, we head up to Vern Anderson. He's in our traffic center. Vern, how's it going?
All right, Eve, let's give everybody one last look at everything that's going on. Of course, we'll keep you up to date on our website at WFMZ.com. Things are changing, and things will change throughout the evening. Here's what we have for you now. Side streets still continue to be a mess, but crews are making progress as they move forward with that. In Berks County, just in, 737 North is closed at Greenwich Township. That's just before Coots Mill Road. That's because of wires and a tree down. Lehigh County, some of the highlights, 378 between US 22 and 3rd Street in the city of Bethlehem continues to be closed. Citronia Road between Trexlertown and Grange Roads in Upper Macungie Township is closed due to flooding. Fairview Road between Emmaus Avenue and Susquehanna Street in Salisbury Township also closed due to flooding. Just talked to the folks in Northampton County Communications. Now, of course, as Matt and Jackie just said, Easton and Phillipsburg are going to be the places to watch tonight as the water continues to rise. 611, don't go out and be a sightseer. Just stay away from it. Wind is the biggest concern right now. Things seem to be just picking up a little bit as far as the wind goes. As far as they said in Northampton County Communications, if it wasn't nailed down, it was causing some problems. You want to be conscious of that again tonight, too. 22 eastbound was shut down earlier due to a tree down. 22 eastbound in Easton City has now reopened. Hunterdon County, we're going to post some things on our website. We just want to remind you to stay off the roads tonight. Not really a good idea to go out. If you've got to do some shopping, if you've got an emergency, go out, but just stay away from ponding water. Of course, we'll be back on 69 News at 6 with a lot more information. But for now, that is the latest from the 69 News Traffic Center. Actually, I'm just going to give you a little bit more information here. Remember, the Iron Pigs game for tonight is off. No Iron Pigs game tonight. And also, if you were planning to go to the Arts Quest Center for any of the activities that they have planned there, with the problems they're having in Hellertown, with the problems they're having on 412, the problems they're having on 378, they too have decided to close for the evening. That's pretty much it. Still a lot more going on. We will keep you up to date on the web. Even Jaciel, back to you.
All right, Vern, thanks so much.
Thanks,
Great
Vern.
updates throughout the day.
Yeah, we are wrapping up our special coverage of the impact of Hurricane Irene in the Lehigh Valley and its surrounding areas, and we want to thank you for staying with us all weekend long.
Our coverage ends on the main channel, but we will continue to provide updates for you throughout the day on our AccuWeather channel, as well as WFMZ.com. Also on our website, don't forget, you can join in on our live chat. It is going on right now and will continue after we end our coverage here. And be sure to join Karen Millette and the 69 News team at 6 o'clock tonight for a recap of the storm.
Lots of information coming from that. Well, for Eve Tannery, Matt Broderick, Vern Anderson, all the producers, the news director, the general manager, everybody on board, thanks for watching. Have a great day.
We'll see you in the morning, everybody. Bye-bye.